Well, folks, here we are. We're at what is quite possibly the oddest of all the Pokemon movies. It's so weird. For one thing, it features a bunch of this Pokemon called Digimon. It has so many forms and evolutions and whatnot that I'm surprised it's not a different species of Pokemon. On top of that, it doesn't take place in any named region. Looks like it takes place in Japan, of all places. And Ash isn't in any of the movie at all. Hell, Pikachu's not even there. It's one of the oddest of the Pokemon movies, and okay, we're done with this. The act got dumb 5 minutes ago. This is a stupid joke, but either way, Happy April Fools, everybody! Originally released on October 6th, 2000, the Digimon movie is really a complete mess. It's kind of a chimera entity of various different movies, combining them into one. It's really the first 3 OVA specials of Digimon combined into one long movie, and they're given this really weak connection thread named Willis. I'm not going to go into differences between the original Japanese and the English dub, mainly because we'd be here all day. On top of that, 40 minutes, I repeat, 14 minutes of this movie was cut in order to save time. I don't know how much of that is from the individual OVAs, but that just sounds absurd. My god, this is going to be a mess. So anyway, before our movie actually begins, the English dub, infuriatingly enough, has a 4-minute short at the beginning of the movie. Now, before you think about it, well, the Pokemon movies do the same thing with the Pikachu shorts, at least they did originally. This is different than that. You want to know why? Because it's not a Digimon short. No, it's an Angela and Anaconda short. For those of you who don't know, thank God, Angela and Anaconda was an ugly cutout animation show on Fox Kids that aired before Digimon in certain regions. It's really annoying in this movie too because they cram in so many Digimon references that it feels annoying. It's a pain to sit through every time. I just skip it by pressing the fast forward on my VHS copy. Yes, people, I still have a VHS. It's ultimately pointless and useless to the overall movie and just is there to fill time. But you'd think they wouldn't need more because they cut out 40 minutes of this damn thing already. Anyway, just think about it. If the Pokemon movie started instead with the Pikachu shorts, they had something like Omi from Shaolin Showdown or Batman being massive Pokemon fans decided to watch the movie. And hold on a second, that actually sounds like a decent idea, unlike this piece of, okay, I need to move on from here. Our movie actually begins with the first of the Digimon's OVA specials, Digimon Adventure, which is kind of redundant considering the fact that the title of Digimon in Japan was Digimon Adventure. Anyway, this takes place 4 years prior to the beginning of the series and covers the Heightened View Terrace incident, which is basically the inciting incident for the entire plot of Digimon Adventure and subsequently Adventure 2. It features a young Tai and Kari, with the other characters making kind of cameos here and there. It starts off with Kari discovering a Digi-Egg coming out of their father's computer. The Digi-Egg hatches into a Botamon, which quickly digivolves into a Koromon. The siblings have some fun befriending the little Koromon, with some shenanigans here and there. Before that night, it quickly digivolves into a gigantic Agumon. Like regular Agumon, in terms of size, he's a little shorter than Tai was when he was like 10. This Agumon towers over 16-year-old Tai. Yeah, let that sink in for you. Kari rides to Agumon piggyback, and they pretty much go on what is essentially a joyride across the city, with Agumon looking at the sights and sounds. All of a sudden, a gigantic Digi-Egg appears in the sky, hatching or cracking open into a Parrotmon, which descends into the city, attacking Agumon. Agumon was losing the fight before quickly digivolving into a Greymon in order to defend Tai, who was chasing after them, as well as Kari. Even then, it still can't win, and Greymon is still getting its butt kicked by Parrotmon. At the last second, Tai blows on Kari's whistle, which she's been having around her neck this whole movie. Which gives Greymon somehow its second win in order to beat Parrotmon, and then the pair disappear into the digital world, thus ending the special. I'll talk about how I feel about this individual specials when we get to it in the end, but this is a rather short one, so let's just move on from here. Our next special is the most famous and loved of all Digimon movies, Our War Game. On top of that, it's the only one to be actual factual canon to the series. Hell, if you look closely in the movie, or special, you'll be able to see young Yoli from season 2. So yeah, actual factual canon. Moving on, our plot. Our movie begins with Izzy discovering a Digi-Egg on the internet, which is quickly attacked by a virus like everything else on the internet for more than 5 minutes. At the same time, Tri is trying to compose an email to Sora to apologize for an incident where he gave her a hairpin on her birthday, as well as mentioning something where he puked in her hat. At this Izzy quickly arrives, basically explaining what the hell is going on with the hatched Digi-Egg. As hatched and Digimon that hatched from is quickly causing chaos by eating data that just randomly comes across on the internet, causing chaos everywhere it goes across. As the pair try to figure out exactly what the hell they're supposed to do, Genai appears, giving a transmission from the digital world, alongside everyone's Digimon partners. Agumon and Digimon head out to fight the Digimon that is now digivolved into a Karamon, and is still causing trouble. They manage to fight it pretty well before it digivolves into Inframon, and defeats them. Tom tries to call the other Digidestined, but they're all busy with various things. He can't really talk to Sora, Kari's away at a birthday party, Matt and TK are at their grandparents', Joe's in school, and Mimi's out of the country on vacation. He does, however, manage to get in contact with Matt and TK, who are away from the computer, and as such they rush to find one, finally finding one in order to send Gabumon and Patamon into the fight. All four manage to arrive at the same location, with Inframon digivolving into its final form, Diaboromon, or in Japan, Diablomon. However, Wargreymon and Metagarurumon are having difficulty finding it, mainly because they've been getting emails this whole time that's causing their Digimon to slow up. Yeah, basically speaking, everybody's been watching this fight go down and they're all panicking, sending emails to everybody to try and sort this shit out. It's actually being counterproductive. Tai, being Tai, slaps the computer with frustration, which causes it to freeze, which also causes Wargreymon to freeze. While Diaboromon invades the Pentagon, saying he's going to launch a pair of nukes in 10 minutes to kill Tai and his creator Willis. That weak-ass connecting thread. Anyway, they manage to get the computer back online with Wargreymon and Metagarurumon attempting to chase after it, but slow and injured from the previous fight, and all the emails. They arrive to find hundreds of Diaboromon, as it's been copying itself like a freaking cell. Not that cell. And of course they start blasting the pair. Seeing their partners injured, Tai and Matt somehow enter the computer with their partners, managing to cause Wargreymon and Metagarurumon to DNA digivolve for the first time into Omnimon, and it begins wiping out the Diaboromon, leaving only the original. However, it's way too fast, and Tai's clicking down, so Izzy somehow manages to send the emails directly to Diaboromon, which causes it to slow down, allowing Omnimon to deliver the final blow at the last second, as you do. This disables the missiles, but however the virus manages to escape somehow into the real world and infects Willis's Kokomon somehow. Anyway, yeah, this part's over, so let's move on to the final one, and where we conclude this movie. Our final feature is, and get this name, Hurricane Touchdown. I'm not making it up. It's called Hurricane Touchdown. I mean, they've never been solo before, so why change it now? But yeah, the special takes place in America, and if you look at the Japanese poster, which should be on screen right now, there's a freaking huge American flag in the background. I mean, if you want your audience to know it's in America, they certainly do know now. It's just so funny to look at. I freaking love it. This one takes place during the events of 02, so basically you won't see Tai and them, you'll see Kari, TK, Davis, Yoli, and Cody, as this takes place before Ken joins the group. But enough about that, as our story begins with TK and Kari in New York for some reason. They're enjoying themselves having a good time before they come across Willis and his Terriermon fighting against a Wendigomon. Willis is head after the battle, which Willis manages to lose, but Wendigomon fades away. Willis says he's headed to Colorado before Kari emails Davis and the others with the news of the situation. Being Digidestined, of course, they have to interfere. But that leaves a question. How do 3 Japanese middle schoolers who aren't rich get from Japan to America without parental consent, I might add? They hitchhike. Yeah, so basically they managed to hitchhike their way to Midwest America. I freaking love anime. In which they randomly come across Willis fighting against Wendigomon again. Davis interferes and Terriermon makes Digivolve for the first time, but Wendigomon beats them and disappears again. After the battle, everybody gets on the truck and basically spills about what's going on before everybody reunites in the forest in Colorado. Basically, Willis wants to end the fight with Wendigomon right here and now. After some heart-to-heart with Davis, the fight begins. The fight is amazing, let's be honest with ourselves. The fight's pretty good. But Wendigomon managed to digivolve into Antilamon before digivolving again into Cherubimon, in which it starts fucking with time, turning time back, turning everyone into children. As the recurring thing it kept saying was go back to the past, apparently. Digimon and Digimon, seeing the situation and not wanting to change diapers, digivolve into their megaforms, Magnagimon and Seraphimon, somehow. Seriously, how did they manage to do this, considering the fact they never managed to make Mega level in the show? Oh well, this causes 2 golden Digi-Eggs to be released, somehow. That Vmon and Terriermon take up, digivolving into Magnamon and Rapidmon, respectively. They fight Turbimon, but it turns out to be useless as it eats them, in which case they destroy it from the inside, managing to save the day. Willis believes his Digimon is gone forever, but Davis assures him Digimon never truly die. The movie ends with Willis discovering a Digi-Egg, which later on hatches into a tone-deaf Wendigomon. This doesn't make much sense considering the fact that both Wizardmon, Gatsumon, and Pumpkinmon proved that when Digimon die in the real world, they're for realsies dead. So I'll just leave it at that. So, how does this movie hold up? It's a mess, but it's an okay mess. When it comes to watching the movies individually, I recommend you watch the Japanese versions. But if you have just an idle inclination to watch this chimera of a beast, then watch it. I feel nostalgic for it. This is my preferred version, minus the short at the beginning as well as the awful Digimon rap, or Digi-rap. I know most fans hate it. I can see why they hate it. I just feel a bit of inclination towards it and its incredible stupidity. If you're a fan of watching the original dub, then I recommend it. If you could care less, then watch the original Japanese versions. But how about the specials individually? Well, Digimon Adventure is fine. It serves its purpose of being a quick look at the Heightened View terrorist incident. Nothing more, nothing less. It is interesting to see Kari and Tai meet Digimon for the first time, and I question how they forgot, but they were kids at the time, but either way. On top of that, the fight is pretty good to watch. Again, the animation of this movie is pretty good, and all the fight scenes are pretty good. Our war game is the best special in the movie. It's action-packed, character developing, it's actually canon, if you're into that sort of thing, and the action scenes are yet again top-notch. Basically speaking, it's perfect in its own special way. Well, nothing's perfect, but you know what I mean. It's a perfect Digimon special, which is kind of weird when compared to what comes next, but we'll talk about that when we talk about Hurricane Touchdown, which is right now. Hurricane Touchdown, completely ridiculous name aside, isn't that great of a climax of the whole special feature thing. Honestly, I can tell it was made to be its own original thing. It doesn't feel that great as a climax, especially considering how great a climax our war game was. They try their best, but it just ultimately fails. It's still a good special by itself, but when compared to the others, it doesn't hold up. And yet again, the connection of Willis is just uber weak. Overall, not the best showing, not the best way to end it all. Honestly, if I had my decision, I would have added more length to the movie and ended it with the Return of Diaboromon special that we don't have to talk about because it's not in the movie. So yeah, that's it for this one. Join us next time as we return with actual Pokemon movies, but not really.